A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, taking a look outside and seeing some absolutely gorgeous weather out there. And it feels really nice, especially to work outside. 51 is our relative humidity right now, 74 degrees here at the Radio Center, 74 in the airport area. Midland is looking at 75. Downtown Bay City is reporting 74 degrees. We have a light east breeze. It has been gusting up to about 15 miles per hour, which is not all that bad. Again, with that humidity right down there at 50%, it's very nice. 30.07, falling off a little bit, is the barometer, the barometric pressure, a good indicator of what is going on as far as our highs and lows around right now. Mostly high pressure over Lake Superior. That's the way it's going to be working, and it's going to work a little bit to the east as we go into the afternoon, which is going to signify a counterclockwise circulation of air around a low, which is in the Dakotas, and a clockwise rotation of that high east of Lake Superior. So it is going to be spinning some warmer weather up at us eventually, but we've got a very pleasant series of days coming up with temperatures pretty close to what's average. That's 81 in the afternoon and 61 at night. A little bit on the cool side overnight in a couple of spots. West Branch was looking at 49, Houghton Lake at 47, Bad Axe was at 52. Everybody else looking pretty much at mid 50s for overnight lows. Unbelievable amounts of precipitation over the last 36 hours. As we mentioned to you yesterday, we did see a number of cities that were looking at least a half inch of rain. They picked up, in most cases, an additional inch of precipitation. So looking up and down the roster of cities reporting to us, we saw some pretty impressive rainfall amounts of anywhere from 1.25 inches to 1.75 inches. The heaviest amount of precipitation was in the southern tier of counties, all the way from the southwest corner over to the southeast corner. Saginaw, officially at MBS International Airport, had 85 hundredths of an inch. Over the past 24 hours, though, the airport did pick up 1.3 inches of precipitation yesterday. The record, which was set a year ago at 1.39, held at least for another year. We did pick up about 11 a year ago, about 11 hundredths of an inch of rain. But a year ago, our high was 78 and our low was 52. And our projected high temperature for the day today is right around 78 degrees with that northeast breeze. 58 for a low tonight with mostly clear skies. Should see a beautiful sunset at 8:50. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:34. Tomorrow, 81 for a high with a few clouds around. The hurricane, or the remnants of it, will still be over South Carolina, but it will ever so slowly begin to move in a northeasterly direction and move up into Virginia as we settle into the day on Friday. So, a few clouds around tomorrow, 81 degrees for a high. We're looking for a low of 60. Then on Friday, sun, some clouds. A weak, dry front is going to be moving through the state on Friday, but really it's, other than a few more clouds, it's not going to be that noticeable. 78 for a high, 58 for a low on Friday. Friday will have a west breeze, so things will begin to turn around just a little bit. Instead of an east and a northeast breeze, light in nature, we're going to be looking at a west breeze on Friday, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies Friday night, middle 50s. The hurricane remnants will be in Virginia on Friday. Then on Saturday, we're not expecting rain, but we are going to be looking at a few more clouds around. Still, I think mostly sunny skies, but our temperatures for the weekend will be in the low to mid 70 degree range. So very pleasant, but kind of cool for this time of the year. We're 5 to 8 degrees below average for this upcoming weekend. And the reason for it is the remnants of that hurricane will be over New York City on Saturday, and that is going to be dominating the weather out there. and also having an influence on our weather here because of that counterclockwise circulation. It is going to be pushing some clouds back toward the Great Lakes. So on Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be looking at sun, but we're also going to be looking at some cooler temperatures. So even though we won't see a lot of clouds, we will have some much cooler temperatures to work with. But then as we begin the work week next week, we're looking at upper 70s to 80 degrees as we move our way through a good part of the week next week. Normal as far as temperatures go, normal as far as precipitation is concerned, pretty much all of next week. Next weekend, not the upcoming one, but next weekend is when we'll begin to see our temperatures average out a little bit above normal for this time of the year. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. A busy day today, so we're going to get right to it. But before we do that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Rummel Agency. You know, the Rummel Agency understands the risk that you face as a Michigan farm and agribusiness owner, and they also know that each farm's needs vary like the crops in the fields. They know that you're more than a number. They know you have family, goals, and dreams for your future and how important these things are to you. They want to get to know you one-on-one so they can help you get the right farm insurance protection for you and your family. The Rummel Agency with offices in Frankenmuth, Saginaw, and Carroll. And they understand how important it is to support the young people of your particular region, your particular community. So they encourage all of you in the Bay County area to get on up to the Bay County Fair. The Junior Livestock Auction will be held tomorrow, and we will be broadcasting our farm program from the Bay County Fair, brought to you in part by the folks at Lingle Equipment. Let's take a look and see what's going on with the markets. Cody Harris over at Star of the West joining me right now. And Cody, are we able to take a breath, or what are we looking at?
I wish I could bring some good news here, Terry, but we're kind of, seems like I've been a broken record the last couple of weeks. We're down across the board here today. We had a little bit of strength earlier this morning, and it's definitely gave back all of its gains that it had kind of pre-market here and overnight. Kind of diving right into it. We got cash wheat right now. That's down 6, 522 on the white, 447 on the red. Looking at new crop 2025 wheat, that's down 5, 599 on the white, 514 on the red. Looking over at corn, cash corn is down 4 at 305. New crop corn also down 4 at 336. And then looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are down 7 at $10 even, and new crop soybeans are down 7 as well at 940.
We just can't buy a favor, can we?
Oh no, it's been brutal the last couple of weeks for sure.
Any particular reason, again, why we're seeing what we're seeing?
A lot of it has to do with some weather. It seems like there's some cooler weather forecasted kind of across the country here, and it's benefiting definitely corn and soybeans, and that's putting a little pressure on the market. I think I looked at some analysts. They came out with some new projections, and they increased some estimates on yield for both corn and beans by about a half a bushel per acre increase. And I think you're getting a little bit of pressure. Everyone's looking at it could be record yields across the board for both beans and corn. And I think everyone's maybe kind of looking at that to maybe come into Monday's August USDA report, which kind of not only will include some of those yield surveys on yields, but also incorporate some of the FSA's acreage changes. So I think everyone's trying to figure out what that's going to say on Monday. Just put a little bit of pressure on the market here midweek.
And of course, it doesn't help that we're not seeing much activity with the farm bill.
No, definitely not seeing that. So, I mean, that could be a little bit of uncertainty as well playing into the market, let alone with everything else that's going on in the world. So, that's definitely a factor and something to keep an eye on too as we move forward.
Cody, you take care. Have yourself a great day.
Yeah, you as well, Terry. Thank you.
Will do. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me right now. The market report brought to you by Thumb Bank, making agricultural loans since 1895. They've got locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank, they help you to stay up to date on industry trends and the trends of your operation. Relationships are built on trust at Thumb Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC. Market report also brought to you by the folks at Steiner Tractor. New parts for old tractors made doggone easy. It certainly is. Just a telephone number, 800-234-3280, or go to their website at steinertractor.com. And they want to show off some of the work that's been done through them with some of these antique tractors and engines for the Thumb Area Old Engine and Tractor Association show. That begins on Friday, goes through Sunday over at the Caro Fairgrounds. Each and every one of you can take a look at history. We'll look way back the way the farmers used to do it by stopping by and just checking out all the exhibits at the Caro Fairgrounds. Again, that's Friday through Sunday, and we'll be broadcasting farm service from the Caro Fairgrounds at the Thumb Area Old Engine and Tractor Association show this coming Friday. Doug Klein, good morning.
Well, good morning.
What are we looking at?
Crude oil's up $2.50 today. I guess the Saudis got tired of that price being down, so they poured some money into it and probably created some news stories and all that other stuff to make that go up. Could use that in the farm bill, that's for sure. That market is awful ugly. So the stock market is sort of around the indexes, let's say, are rallying a bit, 1.5% comeback. No new highs yet. Mosaic had their earnings. They were kind of, sort of, I would call them dismal. They're just kind of thinking that incrementally sales are going to be down for the foreseeable future, and possibly earnings by the same token. They did not hit a new low today, but they're kind of sitting right near their lows, down about 35% for the year over year, 12 months. So Cabot had their earnings yesterday. They were really good. They hit an all-time high today, but since have backed down about 4% off of that. So markets are volatile, unpredictable, and just huge opportunity out there if you're lucky. So here's your numbers. The September corn, 384, down 4 3/4. December corn, 401.5, down 3 3/4. August soybeans, 1023 1/4, down 5 1/4. The November soybeans, 1019 3/4, down 7. September wheat, 537, down 6 1/4, and December wheat, 561, down 5. Crude oil, 75.74, up $2.54. Heating oil is 236.13, up 6.5 cents. Gasoline is 2.19, up 4.9 cents. Natural gas, 2.09, up 8 cents. Over to currencies. Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys $1.3732 Canadian. That's down 53 ticks. The dollar buys 147.64 yen. That's up 334 ticks. And then we're talking about the carry trade being the cause of that tremendous volatility in the stock market over the past week or so. People were, I don't know, shorting the yen or going long the yen. I don't even understand that, but it's just an unbelievable amount of risk when the markets move, and they're talking trillions and trillions of dollars changing hands in a very rapid fashion. So the euro's at 109.26. That's unchanged, and the dollar's at 103.17, up 20 ticks. Gold is at 24.0220, up $3.30. Silver's 27.05, down 16 cents. Platinum's 933.20, up $13. And copper's at 396.60. That's down 6 cents. And over the last 10 weeks has dropped about 24%. So there's a wild child also.
Wow, I guess. I didn't realize it had dropped that much.
Yeah, it got up to 520 maybe. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Yep. Well, you
Big
just
head
don't.
spin.
You just don't know. Doug, thank you.
Yep.
Hey, have a good one. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. You know, they want you to be prepared, Mr. Farmer, for just about anything and everything that could and will happen. Remember, they are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. Their agents can be reached directly on their cell for questions or emergencies, or you can call the office in Reese at 989-868-4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency inviting you again to participate in that junior livestock auction at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Again, coming up tomorrow afternoon, a little bit after 5. When we return, Joe Kramer with the Michigan Bean Commission joins us. The Frankenmuth Credit Union is ready to take care of you, whatever it is, because they do have lines of credit, equipment loans, financing for purchasing land, credit cards, or more. Stop by any of their conveniently located offices today and see how they can become your hometown financial solution. Find out more by going to frankenmuthcu.org. We say good morning to Joe Kramer, Executive Director of the Michigan Bean Commission. And Joe, a lot of questions as far as the dry beans go. First of all, the dry beans here in North America, and in particular in the United States. You got any kind of update on our conditions?
Well, I spent a whole lot of time with people from around the country last week and over the weekend. Learned a lot just based on talking, but I think from a market perspective and influence, we have to look first to Mexico. They've been, as you and I have chatted about, suffering through their worst drought in many years. And as luck would have it, they've been getting some rains. They got their crop in the ground, and we're coming off record exports to Mexico and Central America because of drought. We enjoyed those exports. I'm a little worried that we probably got too many beans here in the U.S. if Mexico, in fact, has a good crop, and that mainly affects pinto beans and black beans, but it can have a little domino effect or elasticity to some of the other classes too. But the folks in Mindac region are kind of like us; they're all over the board. I think as you go west, that's big pinto bean country, and they're struggling. If you're in southern Minnesota, you might have some excess water. In the valley, the traditional valley up toward the north, I think their crop sounds like it looks pretty good up there. So much like Michigan, right? We think northern tip of Huron County looks really nice. Some spots on eastern Huron County look really nice. And then we've got some tough looking crops in Bay and Tuscola. And Sanilac has maybe improved a little bit, but they've had their share of water too. So kind of all over the board. Yesterday, the Michigan Bean Commission set their budget using a 22 bag average. I don't think everybody in the room believes we're going to hit that, but it's a budget, and we can amend it as needed or if needed. So that's kind of how we're seeing things right at the moment.
And of course, coming up in the not too distant future, we're going to have some field days, right?
Terry, I lost you just for a little bit. I think you asked about plot tours, right?
Yes, I would imagine here coming up pretty soon, we're going to start that.
We do. We kick off on the 20th at the Research Farm with the MSU Field Day, and then our plots, our Bean Commission plots, and in partnership with Michigan State, go right through September 4th. So everybody should have gotten a postcard. The dates are on our website if you want to take a look. But we start out in Tuscola County on the 26th. So anxious to get a look at those plots.
Yeah, that sounds great. You take care. Have a great day, okay?
Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Joe Kramer, Executive Director of the Michigan Bean Commission. Over to Bay Landscaping and Garden Center we go. Jerry Samolsky joining me. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Terry. 1.2 at my home, and we ranged our little neighborhood between 1.2 and 1.4.
Boy, for some folks, they really did need the rain.
You know, Terry, the turf was going dormant from that heat and the moisture loss that we didn't have, and now with the cooler temperatures, I think it's going to come back. And for those landscapers that don't want to lose mowings during the course of the year, I think the grass is going to keep growing. And for the homeowners that like to have the grass burn out so they don't need to, I think they're going to have to keep mowing, Terry. What do you think?
It sure sounds that way to me, because we're looking pretty much rain-free from now at least through the weekend.
Yeah, and that'll bode well. I think there's been a lot of iffy weekends, and I think that might have hurt some tourism, some other things. So this is good stuff, Terry. The cooler temperatures, I think, is going to bode well. The funguses that are there and have erupted will continue to run their course unless they've been treated. But most fungal diseases we have are more of a nuisance and less life-threatening. So a lot of those fungus that you get aren't going to kill a tree. You're just going to live with a tree that doesn't look so good. And I think hopefully next year will be a better year.
All right. Jerry, thank you. We'll talk to you again tomorrow with a plan of the week, okay?
You got it.
All right. Jerry Samolsky. We'll be back with Ed Bankert, with Nutrien right after this. Along with us, Ed Bankert with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Ed, what are things looking like right now?
You know, overall, Terry, things look really, really good. There's been some isolated areas where the excessive rains, especially dry beans and some soybean fields and probably corn for that matter as well. We just can't see it. But no, things look pretty good. Up in the thumb today with our Ubley location, looking at some soybeans and a little tar spot in corn we found and some of these bean fields, trying to figure out what's causing some yellowing that's going on out in the fields.
So at this stage of the game, any advice to our producers?
Well, I'd say work closely with your crop consultant. I mean, August is a time, especially in bean fields, where you see these pockets showing up, and whether it's soybean cyst nematode or root rots or lack of nodulation, field drainage, whatever it may be. When you go in with the combine, you kind of forget what happened in July and August, and it's a good opportunity right now to diagnose what's going on and potentially correct some deficiencies going forward in the next year's crop plan.
Good advice. Ed, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
Yeah, you too, Terry. Thank you.
Will do. Ed Bankert with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Over to Maple Hill Nursery we go now. Chuck Servinski. We got all sorts of stuff going on, and it looks like Dairy Dew is trying to keep up with everybody, huh?
Definitely. We're coming up on that fall planting season, not too far away, and you're going to want to make sure that you got a good soil amendment when you're planting those new trees and shrubs. And we have got the perfect solution with Morgan Composting's tree and shrub mix. It's powered by Dairy Dew, and it's handcrafted, and it will really provide a lush green growth to the new plantings and provide all those nutrients necessary for vibrant and colorful foliage. It's got the added kick of triple ground bark, which offers a great water holding capacity. And when you use it, you're going to mix equal parts of tree and shrub with the existing soil you dig out of the hole and backfill around the plant. And then you can top dress around it with a little bit more of the tree and shrub, maybe a ½ inch or so. And that definitely will help next year's growth as well.
So at this stage of the game, all we got to do is stop by and
we'll show you how to do it with Dairy Dew products from Morgan Composting.
And you still got that summer sale going on too, don't you?
We've got a summer sale going on. We've got discounts on a variety of items, so stop in or call for all the details.
Chuck, you have a great day.
And we'll talk to you Friday.
We'll talk to you on Friday. Chuck Cervinsky, Maple Hill Nursery over in Midland. Farm Service has been brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. You know, serving you is their business, and they've been doing it since 1983. Got a great selection of products to help you increase your yields and keep it going over the summer months. And they are your Dairyland seed headquarters right now. So check them out and talk with the experts at Freeland Bean and Grain. Farm Service also brought to you by Krizak's House Family Restaurant, 989-894-5531. They'll have the food ready for you no matter what the occasion will be. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coins in Bay City.